Everyone, happy Tuesday, July 9th to everyone out there. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. My name is Hunter, and in today's weather forecast, we're going to be talking about the remnants of Hurricane Beryl moving across the Ohio Valley and into the Northeast. We're also going to be mentioning the extreme heat and humidity building across the West, but the heat will be on the move across North America as we go into the middle of the month, and this could spawn a significant round of severe weather by mid-month across the parts of the United States. So we're going to get into all of that in today's weather forecast. If you do like my videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like the video down below by giving it a thumbs up, leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those after the video. So let's get into the video now here and talk about the remnants of Hurricane Beryl. You can see the infrared satellite imagery here this late morning into the afternoon. You can see some cloud cover overspreading parts of the Midwest, the Ohio Valley on up there into the Great Lakes in the Northeast, and some precipitation precipitating out of those clouds as well. And this system is on a very strong weakening trend. Ever since yesterday, it was a tropical storm yesterday. It's now a post-tropical cyclone here, and it's not really going to be impacting us with winds, but the general track of Beryl, the remnants, is going to take it through portions of Detroit as we go through the next 24 hours to the Toronto area, Montreal, and then up here into eastern Canada with the central low pressure. And this did spawn a lot of tornadoes yesterday, a regional tornado outbreak across the Arklatex region, eastern Texas, northwest Louisiana, into south central Arkansas. We had 14 confirmed tornadoes yesterday, and that number will likely grow as more storm surveys are surveyed over the next couple of days. Wind reports all the way up into the Michigan, into the Great Lakes region as well. And the Storm Prediction Center's day one outlook, their tornado outlook, has a 5 to even a 10% chance of a tornado within a 25-mile zone here of the Louisville area down toward Paducah, Indianapolis, St. Louis, into the Cincinnati area. A lot of those areas do have the chance for some tornadoes as we go through the rest of today and into tonight. And it's all with the remnants of Beryl. We're going to be building instability up across this region, especially into Kentucky, southern Indiana, and southern Illinois as we go into the afternoon. And the eastern quadrant of this system will have those rain bands kind of spoking around the center of low pressure, and that will provide the threat and the lift for some severe weather and tornadoes that will continue into tonight. A very heavy rain band will set up from eastern Illinois into northern Indiana, southern lower Michigan, and western Ohio. Some of those areas will definitely be seeing a few inches of rain going into tonight. And then as we go into Wednesday, the tornado threat migrates a little bit further off to the east-northeast, including near the Buffalo area, Albany, New York, and getting into parts there of northern Pennsylvania and New Jersey as we go into the day on Wednesday. So watching out for that. That's the eastern quadrant again of that system. The low pressure, though, on Wednesday will be moving over Toronto, in through Ontario there and into Quebec, Canada. And then as we go into Wednesday night, heavy rainfall set up for parts of the Northeast. So looking at rainfall totals here, nice swath of rain from Michigan back here into southeastern Missouri, another swath over here into interior New England. Kind of zooming it in here and showing you the areas that could have the heaviest rains. The Detroit area, we're looking at around 1 to 2 inches. Fort Wayne, Indiana, around 1 to 2 inches as well. You get into northwestern Indiana here in the southern Chicago suburbs. I think those areas could see the heaviest rains, anywhere from 2 to as much as 5 inches worth. And then you go further south towards St. Louis, into the Carbondale area, Indianapolis, Evansville, and even the Paducah area. We're talking anywhere from a half an inch up to 2 inches. And then over here into the Dayton, Ohio area and Columbus, around a half inch to an inch of rain there. Going into the Northeast, I think the Buffalo up to Watertown, New York area could get around 1 to 3 inches of rain. Go over here to Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. A lot of these areas, 1 to 2, possibly 3 inches of rain. The further south you go, toward the coastline, the less rain you will see. So that's what we'll see as we go through the Thursday, July 11th timeframe. Now, this will be coming down in a short amount of time. The rainfall rates will be high, so we could be seeing some ponding of water on the roadways, low-lying areas, farm fields, stuff like that. So a marginal and slight risk of flash flooding will be possible today into tonight from portions of the Midwest into the western Ohio Valley, and then a large zone with a slight risk for flash flooding tomorrow on Wednesday, July 10th. 10th from Michigan eastward through much of interior New England, all the way up there into Maine and probably even southeastern Canada, even though you don't see it on the map here, will likely experience the potential for flash flooding. And you can see scattered flash floods will be possible. It's mainly going to be localized in that slight risk area, but isolated significant flash floods will be possible, especially in like northwestern Indiana, some of those areas that could see up to 5 inches of rain in a short amount of time. That could lead to some significant flash flooding in some localized areas. Now, looking back here at the tropics, the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, doesn't really have any areas of investigation over the next 7 to 10 days, so that's some good news. We're looking at very quiet conditions across most of the Atlantic Basin, very quiet conditions also over here over the next 7 to 10 days in the eastern Pacific Ocean as well, so that's some good news, although we are starting to warm our temperatures at the surface back up here on the water surface. You can see across the tropical Atlantic, it's pretty cool right now. I think that'll warm up over the next week as we have some quiet weather. The Caribbean's still very warm. Even though we had a Cat 5 Hurricane Beryl move through here, it did cool the temperatures off at the water just a little bit, but it is going to start to warm up over the next several days. And the Gulf actually cooled down as well. That will start to warm up as well over the next couple of days. And looking at the third week here in July 17th through the 23rd, not really seeing any favorability for tropical cyclones, but there could be something to potentially watch toward the end of that period, probably more so beyond the 23rd of July, as we have another wave potentially moving off the African coast into the MDR, the main development region, and toward the Windward Islands. We'll have to wait and see on that. That may actually wait until the last week into July to happen. Now, let's look here at the weather and the heat building across the country as we go through today. You have a high pressure ridge across the desert southwest, another one over here, much weaker though, across the southeast coast, and there is Beryl's remnants. You have that big dip in the jet stream and much cooler air across the upper Midwest and Great Lakes today. Looking at high temperatures this afternoon, look at all of the heat out west. We have record high temperatures likely across the desert southwest, even closing in on all-time record highs into Death Valley as we go into the afternoon. Look at the ridge as we go into midweek here on Wednesday. This is for tomorrow. That just kind of sits out there and builds as we go even into Thursday and Friday, although Friday the ridge starts to flex its muscles a little bit and actually shift the heat a little bit further east toward the Great Plains. So looking here on Wednesday, looking at those heat index values as we go into Wednesday, look at those triple-digit heat index values all the way up the East Coast, triple-digit heat index values across the desert Southwest. High temperatures Thursday, look at all of that. Triple digits all the way up into Montana, almost even into Alberta and Saskatchewan, Canada, seeing those upper 90s to near triple-digit high temperatures, very hot for Canada. And then on Friday, the ridge starts to build stronger and expand, but also kind of build a little bit closer toward the Mississippi River. So those 90s and triple digits will be working their way eastward into the Great Plains as we end the work week there on Friday. So make sure to stay hydrated through the week, especially if your job or anything, you venture outdoors through the rest of the week. Going into the weekend on Saturday, July 13th and Sunday, July 14th, there's that big ridge that's out across the Intermountain West into the Rockies region and entering in the eastern periphery of that to the plains here. That's going to lead to a lot more above normal temperatures across much of North America. We're talking most of the U.S. and the southern Canadian prairies well above normal. Some areas up to 20, 21 degrees above normal, especially out west as we go into the weekend. So looking at your temperatures this weekend on Saturday, look at all the 90s, triple digits out there all across the lower 48 here. That continues as we go into Sunday. A little bit cooler to the north in Canada. That's where that active storm track will be for the weekend. We're watching a little bit of a stronger belt of westerlies in our jet stream here, a stronger push of winds over the top of that ridge as we go into the weekend, and early next week that may dive down across the Midwest and into the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes region. And that is something we'll have to watch. We always have to watch the northern and the northeastern periphery of the ridge of high pressure for that storm energy to build. So we're going to see that build as we go into Saturday here. You can see a lot of those reds and purples. That's 3,000, 4,000 joules per kilogram of instability to tap into. Sunday gets a little bit higher. Monday we see that. Tuesday we see that. So a several day period, 3, 4, maybe even 5 days worth of a lot of storm energy up here on the northern and northeastern periphery periphery of that ridge, and that could lead to a little bit of those storm complexes where we see those mesoscale convective systems diving from northwest to southeast across the upper Midwest, the lower Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Great Lakes, and these could pose more of a widespread wind risk as we go into the weekend and early next week. Now, with this said, the placement of any of these features are very uncertain. We're still several days out, and also there's going to be a very strong cap on the atmosphere. Think of it as a pot of boiling water. If you have the lid on the pot of boiling water, the steam doesn't come out. But if you lift that lid just a little bit, all it needs is a little bit, and the steam starts to come out, that's where storms could form. And we don't know exactly where they will form, but the pattern recognition does lead to the potential for even derechos as we go into early next week across the upper Midwest, the lower Midwest, the Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley. So that is something we certainly have to watch out for. So my latest Weather on the Go severe weather forecast between Saturday, July 13th and early next week, Tuesday, July 16th, this is the area in orange that we have to watch out for the potential, if not the likelihood, of some severe weather. Not everybody in this zone will see severe weather, but somewhere in this zone, we're likely to see some type of severe weather during that 4-day period. And as more confidence grows, and I get more confident in this pattern, we may be upgrading some of these colors and maybe to the very likely category somewhere in this region. So stay tuned on that. And looking at the models here, the operational European model, the ECMWF, showing that general pattern where we're very dry underneath that ridge of high pressure because we have that strong cap, right? You don't have a lot of rising motion. Cloud cover won't be able to form that much. So it looks like a lot of that weakness in the jet stream will be up to the north here, the northern and northeastern quadrant of that ridge. That's where we could have those mesoscale convective systems and the potential a derecho as we go into that 4-day period. And even the ensemble guidance to the European is actually showing that as well. So that is something to keep an eye on. When the ensembles are showing it and the operational models are showing it, we have to pay attention to this pattern as we go through the weekend and early next week. And we'll do that right here for you at Weather on the Go. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below if you do like these weather forecasts. Also, be sure to press the like button, the thumbs up button down below. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those later on today. Thank you all for watching again. Thanks for all the support. My name is Hunter with Weather on the Go, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Tuesday out there.